I'm constantly surprised when people give me titles like that. In 2025, Farrah Fawcett's name is everywhere again. Her sculptures just sold for $500,000 at auction. Young celebrities are copying her iconic hair. The hair was the music first thing that entered the room. It was like hair salons report a 40% jump in music requests of Farrah Flip. But that's not why people are talking. New revelations about her final years are surfacing. The truth about how Hollywood really treated her is coming out. What they did to her behind the scenes will shock you. She wasn't just a pretty face. She was fighting battles nobody knew about. Farrah Fawcett came into the world as Mary Farrah Lenny Fawcett on February 2nd, 1947 in Corpus Christi, Music, Texas. She was the younger of two girls raised in a small conservative home. Her mother, Pauline Alice, Music, stayed at home and carried Choctaw roots. Her father, Kenyon Martin Fawcett, worked as an oil rig contractor. Money was never flowing easy, so the family learned to live simple. Farrah went to St. Patrick's Roman Catholic Church School, and that music, strict Catholic air sat over everything. It built routine in her. It built rules in her. Her older sister Diane later changed her name to Donna. But in those early years, they were just two kids sharing the same narrow streets and the same family weight. Even as a little child, Farrah already had a spark that did not wait for permission. By age 5, she was winning local art contests. Music. She was drawing and sculpting like someone older, like someone who had already found a secret door. That creative pull stayed with her. And as she grew, it mixed with something else, too. When she reached W.B. Ray High School in Corpus Christi, she was not only the girl who could make art with her hands. She was also the girl everyone noticed the moment she walked in. All 4 years she was Music, voted most beautiful. Not once, not twice, all 4. It was rare, and it shaped her confidence in a quiet way. Teachers, Music, saw the discipline in her as well. She had that steady focus people remember later after fame, when they look back and say they always knew. So when 1965 came, she won a beauty scholarship to University of Texas at Austin. She arrived thinking of microbiology. That was a plan on paper. She lived at Mayfair House on Pearl Street, joined the Delta 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 sorority, and tried to settle into campus life. But life does not always follow the first plan. Her photo kept getting attention. She was named one of the 10 most beautiful co-eds, and a Hollywood publicist, Music, saw it. It was like a switch flipped. At 18, she made a choice that shocked people back home. In 1967, she dropped out and moved to Los Angeles, chasing acting with more hope than safety. She did not have a big family push behind her. She just had a strong inner pull, and she followed it anyway. Los Angeles did not welcome her with open arms. It tested her first. Casting rooms said no again and again. Work was thin, so she took what she could. She became a shampoo girl. She did print ads. She lived light and careful while trying to get seen. Then in 1969, she did something bold that split opinion fast. She posed Music for Esquire in a nude shoot. It hit like a shockwave. Some people called it brave. Others called it career suicide. Music. The backlash was loud enough to make her feel she might have ruined her shot before it had even started. Still, the attention made her impossible to ignore, and doors that were closed began to crack open. Around the same time, her hair became part of her story. In the early 1970s, she leaned into a feathered style that felt natural to her, like the beach waves she loved as a Texas kid. Casting people first rolled their eyes. They felt she looked too all-American, too clean, too easy to label, but the world did not care about their doubt. That look became a music wave. Posters and magazines sold in the millions, and her hair turned into a symbol of the decade. Music. What they called a problem became the thing that made her unforgettable. Yet inside all that shine, Farrah carried a shy core. She felt it. Even as fame grew, her parents still wanted her to come home, to stop chasing Hollywood dreams that felt risky and strange to them. In 1968, she even tried stepping away for a bit. She went to Japan to model, hoping a new place might open new paths. Instead, it gave her loneliness and culture shock. It taught her how heavy fame could feel when you are far from home. She came back clearer. If she was going to do this, she would do it her way. Back in Los Angeles, the pace picked up fast. In the summer of 1968, she signed with a major modeling agency within 2 weeks. By the end of that year, she had already appeared in over 100 TV commercials. Max Factor, Noxema, one after another. People started calling her the girl next door. But even then, she had a line she would not cross. Playboy came calling. Other offers came too, big money offers. She refused them all. Agents pressured her hard because nude shoots were a shortcut to quick fame back then. She still said no. It cost her jobs in the short run, but it also made her stand out as someone who music would not let the industry decide her whole shape. Her first film step came in 1969 with a French comedy called Love is a Funny Thing. Claude Luch directed it, and it was filmed in the United States, Music, with scenes shot in Old Tucson, Arizona. The film premiered in France on December 3rd, 1969. Her role was tiny, just a college student with no spoken lines, but it gave her a real feel to set and a director's pressure. It was a quiet start, yet it was a start. Then in 1970, she landed her first speaking role in Myra Breenidge, Music, playing Marion opposite Raquel Welch. The movie pulled from Gore Vidal's novel and carried heavy controversy. The set was messy. The story was explicit. The film later became known more for chaos than craft. Farrah would call it Hollywood's sleaziest project years later. She felt pushed into it by her boyfriend at the time, Lee Major, and she felt it stayed on her skin in a way she did not want. The film flopped, but it also made her name bigger. Fame can rise even when the work hurts. Between 1969 and 1970, she took guest roles on shows like The Flying Nun and Mayberry RFD. The parts were small and the crowds liked her, but behind the camera, a pattern kept repeating. Lines, music, were rewritten to spotlight her looks more than her acting. She felt boxed in. She felt reduced. That frustration built a new hunger in her. She started wanting roles with more weight, parts where she could prove she was more than a pretty face. Her personal life was moving fast, too. In 1968, she met Lee Majors on an Italian film set. Their romance caught fire and turned into a headline machine. Music, it boosted her visibility, but also brought pressure. Majors reportedly wanted her to quit modeling and focus only on him and their relationship. Friends noticed the control hiding behind the charm. Farrah did not fold. She kept music, working. Still, that stress planted cracks that would grow later. Then 1976 arrived, Music like a thunderclap. Farrah released a red swimsuit poster shot by Bruce McBroom. It exploded. Over 12 million copies sold, making it the best-selling music poster in U.S. history. At one point, over 6 million copies moved in the first year alone. The image turned her into a cultural symbol overnight, but while the world celebrated, she felt uneasy. She hated being treated like an object. She fought to add more artistic touches in later shoots, even slipping in her own sculptures, try and pull the focus back toward her mind and not only her body. That same year, she landed Jill Monroe on Charlie's Angels. The show premiered on September 22, 1976 on ABC. By the end of season 1, it pulled in about 59% of TV viewers. That is nearly the whole country leaning toward one screen. Farrah turned into a global face almost overnight. People even joked that her hair made the show. Yet the days were brutal. The shoot stretched Music to 18 hours. The press never left her alone. And even with all that music, she was paid only $5,000 per episode, less than people expected for Music, someone carrying that much weight. The pressure grew until it snapped. Farrah wanted better scripts. She wanted Jill to feel smarter and deeper. Producers wanted her image more than her voice. At home, Majors grew jealous of her fame, and the fights added another layer of strain. By the end of the first season, she had already decided she wanted out. Music. So, in 1977, after only 8 episodes, she left. The move shocked Hollywood. She walked away from a contract that could have brought her around $7 million. Producers tried to stop her with a raise to $10,000 per episode. Still, she said no. She had a different math in her head. Her poster alone had earned her about $400,000 in royalties a year, more than her whole season salary. She asked for 10% of merchandising profits instead of the 2% she music was getting. They refused. Then they hit back hard with a $13 million lawsuit and pushed for her to be blacklisted. The fight dragged on loud in public. In the end, they settled. She returned for 6 guest appearances, but the damage was real. The industry did not like stars who challenged power. Still, her stand changed things. It showed how even the biggest star could be used and how important it was for actors to fight for their own image rights. By the end of 1977, her face was everywhere. Lunchboxes, board games, dolls, and more. Millions of dollars were pouring in for everyone around her.